Hello, my dear students. Today we are going to learn how to put the anatomical landmarks of the upper first premolar and label them. We are going to see this tooth from 5 different aspects: the buccal aspect, the lingual or the palatal aspect, mesial aspect, distal aspect, and occlusal aspect. This is the outline of the buccal aspect of the upper fourth. The first thing we are going to draw is the cervical line to separate between the crown and the root. Now we have to divide the whole length of the tooth into 2/3 of the root and 1/3 of the crown, and then we are going to put the cervical line, which is convex root-wise. Then we are going to draw just smooth straight lines below this cervical line to denote that there is an elevation in the cervical third of the buccal surface, which is the cervical ridge. And finally, we are going to draw 2 vertical developmental grooves at both sides of the buccal ridge, which is found in the middle third of the crown. And don't forget to write down your labels. Now let's see the lingual or the palatal aspect. First, draw the cervical line at the same level and shape as the buccal aspect, which is convex root-wise. Now we are going to draw the outline of the lingual surface inside the outline of the buccal surface. This is because the lingual surface is narrower than the buccal surface due to the lingual convergence. So we can see the lingual aspect and see the buccal aspect found in the background. First, we are going to draw the mesial and the distal outlines, which are slightly convex and more rounded. And then we are going to put the lingual cusp tip, which is pointed and shorter than the buccal cusp by 1 millimeter. Then we are going to draw 2 small lines connecting the buccal and the lingual surfaces, denoting the mesial and the distal marginal ridges. And then finally, we are going to draw small short lines along the sides of the whole length of the tooth to denote here that we are having lingual convergence. Now let's see the mesial aspect. As you all can see in your empty outline, you will see from this aspect the buccal and the lingual cusps, and you also can see the buccal and the lingual roots. The lingual cusp is shorter than the buccal cusp. Also, the lingual root is shorter than the buccal root. The first thing we are going to draw is the cervical line, which is slightly convex crown-wise. Then we are going to draw the mesial marginal ridge, which is found in the middle third of the crown, and it is positioned more cervically than the distal marginal ridge, and this is opposite to all the posterior teeth. This is because the mesial slope is longer than the distal slope. Then we are going to draw a groove that's crossing this marginal ridge in a slightly lingual position. This groove is called mesial marginal developmental groove. Now we are going to put our mesial contact area, which is found in the middle third and slightly buccal. And finally, we are going to draw the canine fossa, which is a deep mesial developmental depression found in the cervical third of the crown and on the half of the root trunk. And also you have to know that this canine fossa and the mesial marginal developmental groove are very two unique features that are found in the upper four. And don't forget to put your labels on all your anatomical landmarks. Now let's move to the distal aspect. First, we are going to draw the cervical line to separate between the root and the crown, and it is slightly convex crown-wise, and the curvature here of the cervical line is less than the cervical line of the mesial aspect. Then we are going to draw the distal marginal ridge, which is found more occlusal than the medial marginal ridge as we said before. Then finally, we are going to put the distal contact area, which is found at the junction between the occlusal and the middle thirds, and it is more broader and occlusal than the medial contact area. And you'll all notice here in this aspect that we don't have either canine fossa or mesial marginal developmental groove. The last aspect we will see is the occlusal aspect. The occlusal aspect of the upper four is hexagonal in outline. We have two buccal sides, two lingual sides, mesial and distal sides. Also, you will notice that the thickness of this tooth is larger than the width. We also will notice here that the buccal outline is larger than the lingual outline due to the lingual convergence. The first anatomical landmark we are going to draw in the occlusal outline is the buccal cusp triangular ridge. Then we are going to draw the lingual cusp triangular ridge, which is smaller than the buccal cusp. Then at the middle of the buccolingual thickness, we are going to put at the both sides the mesial and the distal marginal ridges. Then we are going to draw just adjacent to the mesial and the distal marginal ridges two triangular fossae, which are the mesial and the distal triangular fossae. And make sure that the mesial marginal developmental groove crosses the mesial marginal ridge lingually. And finally, we are going to draw a central groove as a straight line extending between the mesial and the distal triangular fossae, separating between the buccal and the lingual cusps. Finally, check that all your labels are written.